Hey guys, it's Lazy, and in today's video, I want to talk about my League starter for 0.3. Well, it's gonna be a Theorycraft because we don't have the skill trees, the very detailed patch note with all the numbers. But in my ideas, it's probably going to work and it's probably going to be pretty good. And the build is Ballista Totems on Tacticians. With the new Tactician change, it is now extremely strong for Ballista and Banners. Ballista playstyle is beginner friendly and it's finally reworked to be strong with the Ballista using your own weapons instead of having its own weapon. And Banners is also reworked and buffed in all aspects with the Tactician Ascendancies. For League starting this, it should be pretty solid by itself and it's gonna be great for farming 0.3 new League mechanics. This is because we have Abyss and also Rituals, which is looking really strong as well. We're gonna have stationary monsters just keep spawning, so we can put down our banners, having that whole area covers. We put down our totems and we run around and it's gonna kill everything in that area. And also for mappings, we can put down multiple totems and just keep running while your totem kills stuff, so it's gonna be pretty comfy. Now, the Ascendancy change or rework is also pretty strong. My plan is to take with the following orders: Cannons ready for +1 to maximum number of summon totems, because we want to swap 2 totems as soon as possible, and that is around level 31. Then I'm going to path into Solid Plan. Now, this particular setup by itself will allow me to run triple banners with many strong aura option later on, after we spike into whoever pay best. Now this will allow me to have unlimited banners, but Solid Plan by itself is not too great during the campaign because you don't have that many Spirit Gem drops, but if you do, then it can be pretty solid. But other than that, we can run Cannon Ready. Strategic Embankments is a solid second choice if you don't drop a lot of Spirit Gems. This one will have totems to grant embankment aura to players depending on their totems. The most interesting thing to me out of this list is probably Artillery Ballista, Siege Ballista, and Mortal Cannon. Now, Dark Effigy seems pretty good for spell totems, but I don't really have any plan for spell totem yet, so maybe that's for later. It's a bit confusing, but they changed the name of Ripwire Ballista to Artillery Ballistas and Artillery Ballista to Siege Ballista. Mortal Cannon is the newly added totems and it's looking really strong as well. Each of these will grant you like extra aura effect, and I'm not sure if they stack together, but for sure that if we are planning to play these setups, this is also a very strong option, and it's gonna come after the cannons ready, so you will have 2 more points here that lead up to Strategic Embankment, which in my opinion is like, if I don't drop a lot of good Spirit Gems, then I'm just gonna take Cannon Ready into Strategic Embankment and I will spec into the Solid Plan and whoever paid best a bit later. But I do want to save some point to take Polish that year because Deflection seems really good. Now for the patch notes, I kind of note out all the change that could potentially affect this build. The first thing is now Banner no longer gain Valor, so Banner get reworks in 0.3. And it's looking really, really strong. So Tactician is like one of the only Ascendancies, in my opinion, is going to make Banner viable because Banner requires 200 glory to place, and that's a lot of glory. To put in perspective, right, when you're playing other glory build, which we have like Hammers and Spear of Solaris, I think Spear of Solaris use only 20 glory. And imagine you have to do 10 times of that to place down a single banner. So it's really not gonna be viable if you're not playing Tactician. So you get 5 glory per second and there's no limit on the number of banners. So 5 glory per second, 200, that's about 40 seconds. Now give or take, banners gonna have durations, banners gonna have like buff that lingers after you leave the banner. So the uptime for this can be pretty good in my opinion. So, but we have to see all the numbers once the detailed patch note is out. Another thing here is so Banner have a global limit of 1, Now they're away on the passive trees, which leave room for other Ascendancies, but realistically, like I said, if you don't have that banner again 5 warrior per second, it's gonna be extremely hard to keep up the banner, so you can or should only play this on the Tacticians. Elemental exposure is now having 15% less effect on magic monster and 30 on rare monster, and 50% less on unique monster. So while this build is playing, Siege Ballista is doing elemental damage, so lower elemental exposures, meaning, a little bit less damage on that. Probably not going to be a problem ultimately, but I just want to point that out. Now the biggest change is going to be this one line here, where it say pretty much all the totem and ballista is now using your equipped weapons, which means they no longer have their own flat damage and, base critical hit chance or base attack time. And if you just kind of look at the numbers, a level 40 ballista before, the weapon is not even as good as, like, say 1000 DPS crossbow, and plus we get so much more stat on there, and attacks, speed, crits, and stuff like that. So this is just like a massive buff, and in my opinion, this is gonna make ballista viable. I know it's viable before in 0.2. There are people playing it, but I think this buff is really going to make ballista really strong. Now they do a little bit of name changing here, so artillery ballista is now siege ballista, and ripwire ballista is now artillery ballista, so it's a bit confusing there. But essentially, they kind of nerfed the number a little bit and changed a little bit on ripwire ballista. I think that's probably a good thing, because if doing testing, if this is like too strong, then they obviously have to nerf the number a bit. So I have high hope for these skills. Next up, we have the 3 banners, and this is the 3 banner that we know so far. I'm not sure if they didn't say anything about adding a new banners, but there could be potentially lineage support gems that change how banner works, maybe, hopefully. But banner by itself got massive buff. So now it's glory, you place it down, and for war banners, you gain straight 25% more attack damage. And the auras giving you 50% increased accuracy ratings. The banner have longer durations, and you get increased attack speed. So like war banner is just extremely strong. Like 25% more attack damage, and all these buff is like equal to at least a 1.5 support gems on your main weapons or your main skills, which it's not limited to just totems, but you can place multiple totems on top of the banners, and you can run out the banners, and assuming totem is not snapshotting, somewhat gonna snapshot these, you don't have to stay in the banner for the totem to be beneficial from the buff of the banners, right? So probably some testing to be done there, but if this is just a big circles, you place your totems in here and you run around, it is really strong. Defiant banners. Now with the newly changed, you get 30% more armor and evasion ratings, which is great. We are taking that note, Polish that here, which grant you deflection rating equal to 20% of armors, and we are getting a lot of evasion as well, from wind dancers and other auras. So I have a few aura listed here to kind of see how much spears I would need. But yeah, more evasion, more armor is always good. We're getting 30% increased move speed, and that's like getting another boots. And you should have a lingering buff effects from the banner if they not remove it. So you're gonna be beneficial from this a lot by running around and just dipping in and out of the banner. And then the last one is Dread banners, where you get +4 to all maximum elemental resistance. That's really strong. And then 60% more elemental ailments. So as long as you are in these 3 banners, you'll be extremely strong. This is like a crazy buff. Yeah, you get flash charge per second as well. So you're not just tanky, you have good sustain. So and your totem is doing all the work. So again, this is a totem playstyle. I'll get into that a bit more, but totem playstyle is very easy and beginner friendly. Now, the spirit thing here, you can kind of just ignore. This is me trying to plan out how many aura I can actually run. So I need at least the triple banners for sure. And the rest is kind of like whatever's, right? We can probably fit in a companions in here. This is because, you know, we have a lot of spirits or extra spirit because we take a solid plan, Ascendancies. So this is something that I will properly test out a bit later. This is like my build planners for the leveling setups, but let me just quickly show you Mobalytics for that. Alright guys, so this is me preparing to write a guide on Mobalytics for my League starters. This is still like 0.3 waiting room because we don't have the full skill trees, and also it will take a few days for Mobalytics to properly update everything, but hopefully we'll get everything done before the League start. But this is me trying out a few leveling setups. This is what I believe will be strong in 0.3 because of a few changes. Permafrostbolt, fragmentation round with the frozen enemies have some better interactions for AoE clear. Otherwise, you know, I'm probably gonna look into doing the setups with the contagions. So I will just take a look at a few things before I publish this, so you can kind of favorite, save it, because I will continue to update this once we can have like a proper trees, right? Because, you know, trees will probably change, but the main thing here is that the core setup will probably not. So something you should know is that from Act 1 and 2, or like before you get to level 31, you are gonna have to use skills like actual crossbow skill instead of the artillery ballista or siege ballista. So, you know, you're gonna have to spec into all these damage nodes to prepare for that. So like Act 1 and Act 2, mainly you're gonna spec into these, and you start pathing down here, and once you can swap to ballista, we're gonna spec into ballista point. Obviously all of these will change as subjected to change, but I would say, you know, totem nodes should still be somewhere around here. You get +1 to maximum totem here, +1 to maximum totem here is very, very efficient. You path straight down here for a lot of these strong AoE node that fits really well with Siege Ballista, and then they're gonna change a lot of these banners node, but I expect them to be somewhere around here as well. And we're probably gonna run 2 sets of weapons or passive trees, one to focus on the banner, because I'm assuming it's gonna snapshot the moment you put it down. So you put it down and you swap to your other setup and drop down the totems. So yeah, that's like my rough plan. And again, this is just like very basic setups. I'm still not having like the full ideas on the new skill gems, the level 1, tier 1, 2, and 3 skill gems. Hopefully we'll have time to update all of that, but this is my plan for now. Later on, you know, for the rest of the campaign, we're gonna go into this area as well, and for the end game, we're gonna scale up our banner even more. We can go up here. So in case you didn't know, the banner scale with aura effects, so aura skills, right? So we're gonna path up here, grab some more totems node over here, and grab these aura skills effect. It's just like right around there. So that's my plan. I'm gonna keep this tree update once we have a proper skill trees release or data mine on the PoE Ninja, and maybe I'll try to do a few leveling setups. But yeah, you can kind of look into this, and if you want to try it out before, feel free to do that. I'm gonna share that in the once I publish the video, right? So let me know what you guys think on the Ballista Totem setups with the banners. Let me know if you have any suggestions. I'm willing to try out a lot of stuff from now till the League start, and hopefully we get our skill trees, patch note, and details soon, so we can start doing some even more theory crafting on what setup could potentially be really strong. I want to try out Hollow Palm as well, but there's just certain thing I don't like about that setups, mainly because I want builds that work on a budget, especially on League start. because we don't have any currencies and we don't have any gear. And if you want to blast map and progress fast, it has to be very strong on a budget and does not require a lot of gears. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.